Hey guys, welcome back. I hope that you guys enjoyed your break. So I'm just waiting for more participants to join. We're about 15 people, so I'm gonna get started. Try to be punctual as much as possible, guys, with the coming into the meeting. All right. So today, according to the weekly plan, we compensated some of the reading. We're gonna continue it tomorrow. I mean, tomorrow's off, but on Wednesday, inshallah, after we read chapter 12 from the Outsiders. Today I'm going to introduce to you guys a new grammar lesson for chapter 5, and we finished chapter 4. You guys were quizzed on it, and today we're gonna discuss. This chapter is dedicated to phrases and what phrases are. Okay. And before we do anything, I want to start with by introducing to you what a phrase is. Okay. So, what is a phrase? Before we do this, what I want to do is I want to explain very something very specific. I'm going to put it on the whiteboard first, and I want to describe to you or introduce to you guys two terms that we use them quite frequently in grammar. The first one is the word phrase, and the second term is the term clause. Both terms are used a lot in grammar. What I need you to understand here is the difference between them. All right, what makes a phrase different than a clause, and so on. Okay, so what makes a phrase different than a clause is the following thing. Okay, a phrase does not have a subject or a verb. Okay, a clause, on the other hand, does. All right. So again, if you guys open up your books, grammar books, to page 135, you guys will see a phrase is a group of words, okay, that do not, all right, a group of words that do not have a verb or a subject. Okay. So if you do not have a subject or a verb, then you're most likely dealing with what we call a phrase. Okay. So a group of words that do not contain a subject or a verb. And I'm going to show you the difference between that and a clause. A clause, on the other hand, is the opposite of a phrase. All right? A clause, on the other hand, a group of words that must have must have a subject and a verb. So you must have a subject and a verb and a verb in order for it to be called a clause. Okay? So again, a phrase isn't, okay, but a clause does. All right? So for example, if I were to write this following group of words, I went to the beach. What? Would you identify the following as a phrase or a clause? What?
A phrase.
So again, let's go back to the definition between phrase and clause. A phrase does not contain a subject or a verb. A clause must have a subject and a verb. In the following
Clause.
group of words that I just wrote, what would you say that it's a phrase or a clause, and explain your answer?
It's a clause because it has a subject and a verb. The subject in the sentence is I, and the verb in the sentence is went.
Good job. So here I would identify this group of words as a clause, and because again it has a subject of I and it also has a verb of went. Good job. What if I say on the desk? The group of words in the following is a phrase or a clause. A phrase or a clause, the following. Muhammad Walid, please. On the desk, is it a clause or is it a phrase?
On the desk,
Would you
It's a
describe this?
phrase.
It's a phrase. Good job. Because here, it does not. It does not have a subject or a verb, and that's why we call this a clause. I mean, a phrase. Good job. All right. What if I said the following? He heard the news. When he heard the news. Let's go with Ahmed Sabir. Please, would you describe the following words as a clause or a phrase? Ahmed Sabir, are you there?
Yes, I was in the bathroom.
Okay. So, did you hear me explain the difference between a phrase and a clause?
And no, I was in the bathroom.
Okay, so a phrase is a group of words that do not have a subject or a verb. Okay, so you have to look at the group of words. If you see that it does not have a subject or a verb, then you're dealing with a phrase. If the group of words that you're dealing with, like for example, I went to the beach, Warda has identified that as a clause because a clause has a subject and a verb. The subject is I and the verb is went. So therefore, this is a clause. On the desk is a phrase. Muhammad Walid answered that for us, and he said that this is a phrase, and he is absolutely correct because it does not have a subject or a verb. The next one, it says, when he heard the news. Ahmed, do you think this would be a phrase or a clause?
This a close.
Good job. It would be a clause. And what's the reason behind your answer? Why is it a
It has
clause?
a verb. It has a verb and
It
subject.
has a subject and a verb. You need to have both. In order for it to be a clause, you need to have both a subject and a verb. Okay? What is your subject in the sentence?
The he
All right. And what is your verb?
heard.
Heard. Good job. Okay? Um, amazing. Okay, good. All right, so again, I'm going to save this. I'm going to post it in our notes. All right, um, for the difference between a clause and a phrase. All right, I'm going to just add one more example to see. Okay, in the corner. Who wants to answer this? Any volunteers who would like to tell me if this is a phrase or a clause, other than the people that already answered? All right, Joanna, please.
It will be a prepositional phrase.
It's a phrase. And I like how you said prepositional phrase. All right, because this is the first kind of phrase that we're going to recall how they going to work on
Miss,
them. Okay, so we're going to work on revising them. So in the corner is a phrase, again, because Jumana mentioned that it lacks a subject and a verb. Good job, there's no subject and no verb, just like on the desk. And Jumana gave us a very good an answer, and she said that the phrases that we see here are both prepositional phrases. In the corner is a prepositional phrase, and on the desk is a prepositional phrase. And this is the first kind of phrase that we're going to see in this in the following section. Okay, so the first thing that we need to know, could have been hiding. This is a phrase because it's a verb phrase. Remember, we said a verb phrase is made up of helping verbs and main verbs. All right, and could have been hiding. Where's my helping verbs and where's my main verb? Who can help me? How about Maryam? Maryam, please, in the following verb phrase, could have been hiding. Where's your helping verb and where's your main verb?
Um, ha, have been.
Have
Have
been.
been is the helping.
You're missing one.
What?
You're missing one helping verb. You said could. You said have been.
Could
Is
have
the
been hiding.
okay, baby? This is the entire verb for me. And could have been hiding. Where are my helping verbs, guys? Come on, we took this. Any volunteers? Jumana?
Um,
Where are my helping verbs in the sentence? In this phrase?
have.
Do you guys see the screen that I'm sharing or no? Do you guys see the screen that I'm sharing or no?
Yes.
Yes, we do.
Okay,
Yes,
so
we do.
why are we not able to identify the helping verb in the following verb phrase? The verb phrase is
Which
made up of helping verbs and main verb. One main verb, and we have multiple helping verbs. I want you to tell me, out of could have been hiding, where are my helping verbs and which one is my main verb?
Miss,
Ruqayya.
can I say?
The helping verb could have been,
Thank you. Could
and the
have
main verb
been
hiding.
is the helping verb, and the main verb is
Hiding.
this is the verb phrase. So the first kind of phrase that we're going to learn about or that we need to understand is the verb phrase. The second one is the prepositional phrase, and this is the one that we're going to be really concerned with in this chapter, okay? Because we're going to focus on them. And we said that prepositional phrases, they tell us the location or the position of something, all right? Like we said, the book is on the table. On the table is a prepositional phrase, okay? It starts with a preposition and it ends with the object of preposition, if you guys remember, okay? In the kitchen is an example of a prepositional phrase. What is the preposition and what is the object of preposition? Okay, how about we go with Adam? Adam Fahla, please, in the following phrase, in the kitchen, can you please tell me the
Kitchen.
preposition and the object of preposition?
The preposition in the kitchen and the object. لا, the preposition is the and the object is kitchen.
Okay, you did one mistake because remember the word the is an adjective. We call it a modifier. We call it a modifier. It comes in the middle. It's an adjective describing the word kitchen. So remember that the word the, guys, is an adjective because we took before the articles are adjectives. Okay, the word the, word a, and an are articles that are adjectives. So again, the preposition here is what, Adam? Can you try again? Can you try again and tell me
Uh,
what is the preposition?
it, the preposition is to be in,
Good.
and the
And the
word
object of
modify is
preposition?
kitchen.
And the object of
Kitchen.
preposition is?
Kitchen.
Good. All right. So again, the preposition is in, and the object of preposition is kitchen. And okay, we took the verb phrases already, and I hope that you guys still remember them. I'm going to conduct another review on them another day, so to see if you guys still able to find them because I see that you guys are struggling. So I'm going to do another worksheet as review for you with you, okay? On Wednesday, inshallah, or Thursday when we meet again. Okay. Today we're gonna start with the prepositional phrase. Okay. Here they tell you that there's a clause, and then I just told you this in our other before we start, and I Can someone remind me? Who could remind me again? Ward, please.
Miss, I can't hear you. Your voice was cutting.
Please tell me again what is the difference between a phrase and a clause? Again.
A phrase is a group of words that does not contain a verb and a subject, but a clause is also a group of words, except it has a subject and a verb.
Good job. Perfect. Okay. So here, what's the difference between a phrase and a clause? Again, if you look here, a phrase lacks a subject and a verb. On the other hand, the clause must have a subject and a verb. The wind howled. Okay, wind is my subject, howled is my verb. Therefore, this is a clause. When the Wilsons left, Wilsons is my subject, left is my verb, then the sentence again is an example, or these group of words are an example of a clause because I have a subject and a verb. Okay, this is the difference between a phrase and a clause. Okay, or I could say a phrase or not a phrase. Okay, and now I'm going to stop this, and I need you to get yourselves ready with me to tell me, is it a phrase or is it not a phrase? Okay, and I'm going to put the participation log next to me, and I need you to raise your hand on Zoom if it is a phrase, and I need you to keep your hand down if it's not a phrase. Okay, so here we need to do some raising your hand, the blue hand on use on Zoom, and I'm going to track it with you. Okay, I'm gonna share the meeting with you guys, and I'm gonna track your hand movement, the little yellow hand. All right, so make sure that you start off by all hands down. Okay, Jomana, I'm gonna lower your hands, and I want to make sure.
Mrs. Raise hand is close, and the phrase is no raised hand.
Yes, I'm gonna go over the instructions one more time. Right here, yeah, Muhammad. Okay, raise your hand if it's a phrase. Put your hand down if it's not a phrase. Okay? So if it's a phrase, we're going to put our hand up. If it's not a phrase or if it's a clause, put your hand down. Okay?
Okay.
Okay, hands up if it's a phrase, hand down if it's a clause. All right, I'm going to look at the participants log to see who's raising their hand and when. Okay, so make sure that we're utilizing it. And before each one, we need to clear the hand raised so that we can go into the next one. Okay, Hassan, please put your hand down. Okay, so everybody's hand. Hassan, do you have a question?
No.
Okay, so please put your hand down, honey, so that we can start. All right, because we didn't see the number one yet. Okay, so are we ready for the first one?
Yes.
Yes.
All right, so let's start with number one, and let's play this PowerPoint. I see that you guys, I see your participation. Remember, again, if it's a phrase, hands up. If it's not a phrase, hands down. All right, when you know, phrase hands up, phrase not a phrase, hand down. If it's a phrase, hands up. If it's not a phrase, hand down. Okay. For those who have the phrase hands up, wrong. Okay. It's not a phrase. All right. For those who did not put their hands up, this is correct. All right. This is not a phrase, guys, because you have a subject, which is you, and you have a verb, which is know. When you know is a clause. Okay. So remember, again, I'm gonna put it in the chat. Okay, I'm gonna write it in the chat because you might have forgotten. This is a reminder in the chat of what to do. Okay, so let's just keep that in mind. All right, so number one, again, we saw that it is not a phrase, it's a clause, so we should keep our hands down. All right, so let's look at the next sentence. Okay, the next sentence, as they walked in, phrase or clause? Good job. Okay. Ahmed, you put your hand up. Do you think this is a
It was
phrase,
accident.
Ahmed?
It was accident. It was an
By
accident.
accident. It was an accident. Okay. Okay. So if it's an accident, then the whole class is bravo. Good job. No hands should be up because again, this is a clause. Okay. It's a clause because we have a subject which is they, and we have a verb which is walked. Okay. No hands up. All right. In the garden. In the garden. All right, good. All right, I see hands are up. Some people are not participating at all. All right, Hassan, Yusuf Dahroug, Rahma, Noura, Mark, Ibrahim, Gasser, Adam Wasl.
I'm putting my hand down.
It's you're putting your hand
I'm
down.
here.
Me
Okay,
too.
I'm here.
guys, but why would you put your hand down? We agreed that we only put our hands down if it's a clause. Do you guys think this is a clause, or is it a prepositional phrase? Okay, we agreed that we put our hands down only if it's a clause. All right, and this is not a clause, this is a phrase. And again, what kind of phrase is it? It's a prepositional phrase. All right, and we said that this is a prepositional phrase because, again, it starts with the preposition in and it ends with the object of preposition garden, and there's no subject and no verb. Okay, so everybody clear our hands. Let's clear the hands. Let's lower our hands, please, so that we can look at the next, at our next sentence. All right, is sleeping. Okay, good job. It's definitely a phrase. Good job for those who have their hands raised. Perfect. It's a phrase. Okay, and what can you please remind me what kind of phrase is this?
It's a verb phrase because it's a phrase because it doesn't have a subject.
Good job. It's a verb phrase because it's made up of a helping verb and a main verb. Is the helping verb. Sleeping is the main verb. I don't see a subject along with my verb. This is a verb phrase. It's a phrase. Let's clear our hands once again. Okay, let's clear our hands. Ruqayya and Rahma. Ahmed, clear your hands. All right, let's go to the next sentence. How she remembered. How she remembered. This group of words, phrase or clause. If it's a phrase, raise your hands. If it's a clause, keep your hands down. Perfect, class. Okay, everybody did not put their hands up because, of course, we know that this is a clause. Why is it a clause? Because we have a subject and we have a verb.
And the verb.
Good job. All right. So if you have a subject and a verb, it's a clause, and the game said to keep your hand down, and you guys kept your hands down, which is perfect. Smiling brightly. Smiling brightly. Okay. Phrase or clause? Good job. This would be a phrase again because I only have a verb and a adverb. Okay, I do not have a subject and a verb, so this cannot be a clause because I said it must have both subject and a verb. So this is a phrase. Thank you, guys. You can let's clear our hands one more time. Let's clear our hands, please. All right, let's clear our hands, Muhammad Walid and Ibrahim. Let's clear our hands, lower our hands. Thank you. All right, next one, to the supermarket. To the supermarket. Put your hands up if it's a phrase. Put your hand down if it's a clause. Good job, guys. All of you, or the majority of you, again, Gasser, Noura, Rahma, Yusuf, Dahroug, and Zaina. I don't see any participation from you on this one. Gasser, so you guys are putting your hand down? If so, that would be incorrect. Why? Because remember, guys, this is a phrase. And Zaina, can you tell us again what kind of phrase is it?
This is a prepositional phrase.
Good job. It starts with the preposition. What is your preposition?
Yeah, two.
And what is my object of preposition?
Supermarket.
Good job, Zena. All right. Let's look at the next one. Let's clear our hands where the car is. All right. Let's clear our hands where the car is. Phrase or is it a phrase or a clause? Okay. Keep your hands up if it's a phrase. Put your hands down if it's a clause. Ahmed Sabir. Do you have your hand up or down? Okay, all of you have your hands down, which is perfect. Good. Okay, hands down because this is definitely a clause because this is a clause because again
We don't have a verb.
you have a subject which is car and the verb is. So this makes it a clause. Okay, this is a clause, not a phrase. Okay. Fun to laugh at myself. To laugh at myself. Raise your hand if it's a verb. I mean, raise your hand if it's a phrase. Put your hand down if it's a clause. This one is a little bit tricky. But I see that a lot of you guys have your hands up because you think it's a phrase, and you're absolutely right. It is a phrase. Good job. It's a phrase, and it's called a infinitive phrase. Okay. This is the first time maybe that I'm talking about this, but maybe I did mention it before in class. I always said to be careful of the word to because to plus a noun is a preposition, but to plus a verb is an infinitive. I think I've mentioned that previously in the classroom. What is the verb in the sentence? What?
Laugh.
Laugh, right? So to laugh is my preposition
Infinitive
or
phrase.
infinitive phrase?
Infinitive.
Infinitive, right? All right. To laugh is an infinitive. And how can I tell the difference between to the supermarket, where we saw it earlier, or to laugh? And the question to answer this question is a prepositional phrase is made up of to plus a noun. Okay, like to Italy, to Germany, to school, to Peter's house, okay, to the mall. All these are examples of prepositional phrases. However, if I were going to say to laugh, to drink, to eat, to study, all these are examples of infinitive phrases or infinitives because they are made up of to plus a verb. Okay, so please clear your hands. You got this absolutely correct. This is an infinitive phrase. All right. If he says so, if he says so, all right. What kind is this? Is this a phrase? If it's a phrase, put your hands up. If it's a clause, keep your hands down. Okay. Zaina, you have your hands. Oh, okay. Well,
No, no,
nobody.
no. Sorry, I accidentally raised it.
Okay, no problem. All right. So here I see the whole class has their hands down, which is perfect. That shows me here that you know and understand that this is definitely a clause because it has a subject and it has a verb. My subject here is what? Mark. Can I hear your voice, please, Mark?
Yes.
Can you please tell me the subject and verb in this clause?
Subject he.
And the clause, Mark? I mean, and the verb?
Close.
And the verb.
So
The verb. What is he doing in the sentence, Mark?
says.
Says. Okay. Oh, if he says so, says is my verb. Thank you, Mark. So this is an example of a clause, and that would be the end of my game of telling the difference between a phrase and a clause. Okay, so perfect job, guys, and that brings me to the next part. All right, which here is the exercise one. We did it together. And as you guys see that you guys were answering, is it a phrase or if it's not a phrase? And you guys did this part with me together in the form of this little game that we played. Okay? The next thing that we're going to do is review prepositional phrases. Okay? Lynn Fan has the lead in the school play. Remember, prepositional phrases are the first example of a phrase. And remember, a prepositional phrase does not have a subject, it does not have a verb. All it does is that it starts with a preposition and it ends with an object of preposition. And in the middle, we can have a modifier or an adjective. Do I always have to have an adjective in the middle or a modifier? No. Okay, like for example, for ourselves. This is an example of a prepositional phrase with no modifier. Okay, for is my preposition and ourselves is my object of preposition. Be careful of the prepositional phrase that starts with to, because the prepositional that starts with to has to be followed by a noun or a pronoun. If it's followed by a verb, it's an infinitive. To eat, to drink, to talk on the phone, okay, to talk or to speak. These are all infinitives because it's to plus a verb. But if it's to plus a noun, then you have a preposition. All right, your object of preposition could be an adjective, it could be a noun like umbrella. It could also be a pronoun like ourselves or them, personal pronoun. And here we have a reflexive pronoun, all right, that shows us that it's necessary in the sentence because it's a object of preposition. You can also have a compound preposition, like for example, next to them. Okay, what is my preposition here? Is it next to, or is it to, or is it next to? Who could tell me? Next to them. Where's my preposition in the sentence? When I say next to them, where is my preposition in the sentence? Stella.
Yes.
What is my preposition in the sentence? When I say next to them, where is my preposition?
To.
Try again, Stella. What?
Next.
Try again. What? We have a compound preposition
Oh,
here. What is it?
Next to.
Next to. Okay, good job. Okay, so be careful that my preposition could be compound. It could be compound. That means it could be made up of one more than one word, like in front of. All right, remember in front of, or next to, or according to. We said that these are all called compound prepositions. That means it's a preposition that's made up of more than one word. Okay, so let's look here. Lin Fan has the lead in the school play. Where's my prepositional phrase in the sentence? Lin Fan has the lead in the school play. Ruqayya?
Has.
Okay, has is the verb. I am looking for the prepositional phrase in the sentence.
In.
Give me the prepositional phrase. In is the preposition alone. Adam Wasif, can you help Ruqayya identify the prepositional phrase?
In the school play.
In the school play. Okay, thank you, Ruqayya. All right. In the school play is the entire prepositional phrase. Okay, it starts off with the preposition in and it ends with the object of preposition play. Okay, I have two modifiers or two adjectives here, which is the and school. The and school. They both identify or modify the word play. Okay, standing between them was the Russian chess champion. Standing between them was the Russian chess champion. Where is my prepositional phrase here? Adam Walson, please.
Between them.
Good job, between them. All right, what is the preposition, Adam?
Between
And the object of preposition?
them.
Good job. All right, I know that this is a prepositional phrase because the object of preposition in this case is a pronoun, and in this case it's a noun. Okay, it could also come in the beginning of the sentence. Remember that. Into the thick mist vanished the carriage. Into the thick mist vanished the carriage. Where's my prepositional phrase here? It's already bold for us. Into the thick mist. Okay, where's my preposition here? Zena.
Yes, okay.
What is my preposition in in this prepositional phrase? Which is the preposition?
The preposition is into.
Good job. And what is my object of preposition?
The mist.
Mist.
Or just mist.
Good
Yeah.
job. All right. And the and thick are both
Thick
adjectives
or
or modifiers that describe the mist. Good job. All right. And the next one. Come with Rick and me to the concert. I have two prepositional phrases here. Give me one prepositional phrase here that I have. Stella, please.
With Rick and me.
With Rick and me is one. Okay.
Can I say the other one?
And the other one?
To the concert.
To the concert. Bravo. And here I have two plus a noun. That's why it's a prepositional phrase. Okay, so to the concert is one, and with Rick and me is another. With Rick and me is a prepositional phrase because it starts with a preposition. Jomana, can you please tell us the preposition? With Rick and me, which is the preposition, and what are the objects of preposition in this one?
mist.
Okay,
Can you
Ibrahim.
say the question again?
Jomana, with Rick and me, give me the preposition and give me the object of preposition.
With Rick and me.
Okay, with is the preposition. What are the objects of preposition?
Rick and me.
Me
Rick.
and Rick, because we have